Jefferson once wrote, "If a nation expects to be ignorant and free, in a state of civilization, it expects what never was and never will be." As we all know, the controversy surrounding the Snowden leaks about the NSA's surveillance programs, it is important that we as citizens understand the importance of media leaks and how they affect our opinions about what government policies we should support or oppose. Now, I have done research about the effects of media leaks, and as a U.S. citizen, I have personally seen how media leaks can affect the opinions of U.S. citizens. Therefore, there should be more acceptance and encouragement of media leakers to expose because it not only helps create better and more informed citizens, it also lets citizens hold the government accountable for its actions. First, I will talk about how media leaks can create more informed citizens. Second, I will discuss how citizens can hold governments accountable as a result of these media leaks. And finally, I will discuss the main argument against media leaks. So first we must discuss what exactly, how media leaks affect U.S. citizens' opinions on government issues. So according to a survey done by USC and the Los Angeles Times, it states that many voters obtain their information through either television or the newspapers, as you can see here. In addition, according to Jennifer Hochschild, a Harvard professor, in the June 2010 Election Law Journal, a major study conducted by political scientists determined that in the absence of adequate information, neither passion nor reason is likely to lead to decisions that reflect the real interests of the public. Therefore, what the media decides to cover, as we have just seen here, what the media decides to cover or not cover can impact the decisions of voters who rely on sources such as television and the internet for their knowledge on government issues. As a result of media leaks, citizens can feel differently about either opposing or supporting government policies. For instance, according to Susan Page in the 2014 USA Today, a poll of 1,500 adults revealed that attitudes toward the surveillance programs have turned negative since last June and July, when the Snowden revelations were new. So, furthermore, before the Snowden leaks, a lot of Americans approved the NSA surveillance programs. However, after the revelations of these surveillance programs, the majority, in fact 53%, now opposed the NSA program. In addition, a lot of Americans felt that, or rather 70% of Americans felt that they shouldn't have to give up their privacy and freedom in order to be safe from terrorism. So I have just discussed how media leaks help citizens become more informed. Now I will discuss how media leaks can help the government, can help citizens keep the government accountable for its actions. So there have been a lot of well-known cases throughout American history where media leaks have exposed governmental corruptions and injustices that would have otherwise continued to have occurred without these practices being exposed. Now for a little bit of a history lesson. According to CNN, one well-known case of such an example where a media leak exposed the corruption of government policies was known as Watergate. Now, in Watergate, media leaks exposed the governmental corruption and injustices of the Nixon administration, such as, one example was the Nixon administration were actually listening in, secretly tapping opponents' phone lines, and were listening into their conversations. So, as a result of an FBI director leaking this information to two journalists about these practices, it forced Nixon out of the office or led to his impeachment. Therefore, a lot of information learned from media leaks can also lead to a lot of governmental reforms of these corrupt practices. So according to Susan Page in the 2014 USA Today, the information that Snowden released regarding the NSA surveillance programs led to Obama promising reforms to U.S. citizens. Now, one of the issues regarding the surveillance programs was that they were they were collecting phone data from citizens, and the government was the sole owner of this data. So, as a result of this information leaked to the public, Obama will not necessarily promise, but assured Americans that instead of only the government keeping this phone data, there could be other third parties also holding this data so that the government didn't have sole control over basically our phone records. So I have just discussed how media leaks can keep the government accountable for its actions and how this accountability could possibly lead to reforms. Now I will discuss the argument against media leaks. The main argument against media leaks given by the government is that media leaks could have the potential to endanger citizens because some of these media leaks contain information that is deemed classified. However, the criteria used by the government to determine what is classified is unknown to Americans. I mean, we as Americans don't know what the government says is secret or non-secret. So as a result of this sort of relativity concerning classification, what the government should see as secret could actually be vital information that we as voters need in order to make more informed decisions about what government policies should be supported or opposed. So, in addition, because of these recent leaks, the government has really proposed a number of bills or laws, I should say, to really cut down on these leaks, the media leaks, I should say. So, according to Leonard Downey Jr. in the 2012 Washington Post, one such law is the 2013 Intelligence Authorization Act. And in this case, the government would make it actually a crime for career intelligence officers to provide almost any type of information to the news media. Now, what's important here is that the information doesn't necessarily have to be classified or not. It doesn't have to be classified or not classified. So therefore, a lot of the government's attempts to reduce media leaks aren't even aimed at what they see as classified information, but rather any type of information they just don't want leaked towards the public. So I have just discussed the importance of media leaks in our lives. So in conclusion, there should be more acceptance of media leaks because media leaks lead to greater transparency, which can allow citizens to make more informed decisions in their lives about government policies and can allow citizens to hold the government accountable for its actions. First, I discussed how media leaks can help citizens become more informed voters. Second, I discussed how media leaks can hold the government accountable for its actions, and this accountability can then lead to possible reforms. Finally, I discussed the argument against media leaks. Understanding what the government does behind our backs can aid us in better understanding how we can interact with our government, and ultimately how we interact with the world. That way, as more informed citizens, we can better ensure that the democracy process can become better within our country. And if we are not informed citizens, as Edward Moore stated, we could become a nation of, according to Edward Moore, a nation of sheep can negate a government of wolves. Thank you.